Back in action here with what should be a very good matchup between Jesse Irvine and Gabe Tardio against Vivian David and Dylan Frazier. I'm Carolyn Penner. I am joined by the one and only Thomas Wilson.
You guys just got a downgrade from Will to me. I apologize.
Thomas, what do you think we can expect out of this matchup today?
Man, it's so interesting today with the wind. It's just, we've seen several upsets. But I think with or without the wind, this is a 50-50 matchup. I mean, Vivian David and Dylan, some of the happiest people on tour, have amazing hands. But, I mean, look at Gabe taking over the court already. I mean, I think we're going to see, I would initially say, pretty long dink rallies, especially cross court with Jesse and Viv. But I talked to Viv before the match, and she's like, you can't dink today. Like, she's like, we're driving majority of the balls, and we're going to play aggressive. So I think we're going to see some fire today.
Yeah.
2-1-1.
Yeah, for sure. The wind is such a big condition and factor today.
Yeah, I mean, we've had gusts up to 40 miles per hour. It's wild.
Point.
Yeah, and this will be interesting to see how Gabe plays. I mean, he's been playing so well recently, can literally take over the whole court by himself if he wants to, which he typically does in mixed. And Jesse's just so solid on the right side. So I think this will be dependent on how Gabe plays and how consistent he is. If he throws in too many errors, I think Dylan and Vivian are too consistent. So it's really on Gabe's paddle, in my opinion.
3-1-2.
Yeah, for sure. No pressure, Gabe. Yeah, we had Vivian and Dylan on here for their earlier match, like 2 matches ago, and I don't think they played one of the cleanest matches I think I've seen in a while. They just did not make very many errors, even with these conditions, so it was very impressive.
Yeah, it did look like Paris and Hunter just never quite got anything going, and they really weren't given much to work with.
Second serve.
Vivian David, my OG mixed partner, she's one of the best speeding up off the forehand in the air or off the bounce, especially out of the air. So I'm very curious going up against hands like Gabe Tardio. Will she win the majority of those battles or not? I think it's probably going to be 50-50, but if she's on, she can blow up literally anybody. So.
Side out.
Gabe wins that one.
Yeah. Gabe heard you. He said, oh, what's that, Thomas?
3-1-1.
We are right behind him, so I should
yeah,
talk
they can literally
probably
hear us, yeah.
Second serve.
And Frazier does such a good job of mixing up where he goes on that forehand. Really,
3-1-2.
You can't leave anything just sitting in the middle of the court. He has too many options.
Sorry. Point. Yep. 4-1-2. Point.
Wow, unlucky there.
Off the tape.
The wind has died down a little bit.
5-1-2.
When the gust stops, it's actually relatively still versus earlier. The consistent wind was, probably 18 miles per hour.
Side out.
Right as you say that, one of the gusts kind of picks up.
Yeah, I mean, it's
1-5-1.
It's tough. I mean, that's why a lot of these teams are driving today and playing aggressive. If you try to drop, even if you get a perfect drop, that wind, can gust at any moment and ruin the shot.
Point. Yeah. 2-5-1. Second serve.
Have you noticed the side advantage today in the matches that you called?
Yeah, there's a bit of an advantage for the team that's on the lower side of the screen right now.
Okay.
So Tardio and Jesse are on seemingly a bit of the advantaged side.
Okay.
I think a lot of that stems from
3-5-2.
if the players who have the wind at their back, so Vivian and Dylan right now, sometimes it takes them a little while to adjust to that, and they've been sending a lot of balls long, but we're seeing a lot less of that here.
4-5-2.
Maybe that's a strategy, just a high knuckleball return and let the wind move it around.
Yeah, yeah.
That ball.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a couple like lobs and stuff from the side, and the ball just sort of takes over mind of its own.
Yeah, it's really picking up now. You could tell Vivian was just thrown off slightly on that counter. She's normally all over that two-handed backhand.
Point.
Yeah, to your point, I mean, that's the play there, drive and crash, especially when you're, for the most part, I know it's swirly, but it is into the wind. I've seen many shots today on the far side of the court. So far, it looks like Dylan and Vivian are struggling a little bit more with the wind than Gabe and Jesse are. Wow.
Point.
Gabe playing that ball from out of bounds. Out ball from out of bounds, but
9-4-1.
gets the point.
Yeah, that may cause Vivian to rethink going down Gabe's line. I mean, he's so long and athletic.
Second serve.
Kind of unassumingly athletic, though, you know?
9-4-2.
It does sort of seem like he grows between every tournament somehow.
Yeah.
Side out.
I can stand on a stool and still be looking up to him. It's really unfair.
4-9-1.
Crazy gust right now.
Second serve.
And it really does affect the timing, like that counter.
4-9-2.
You can tell Dylan was just reaching. He's normally not, you know, mistiming those in that early. Really causes the players to have really tremendous footwork. I mean, that ball is moving at the last second, so if you're stuck in cement,
Point.
you're in trouble.
Point.
See if Vivian David and Dylan Frazier can find a little bit of momentum
6-9-2.
here. It's just conditions are causing these points and momentum to be a little bit choppy. Rattled off a couple points in a row there. Let's see if they can keep it rolling. They've had trouble stringing points together thus far.
Point.
And that's so tough too when you're getting driven at like Gabe there. I mean, you just really don't quite know where the ball's going to end up. So you see a lot of players here just second guessing their volleys, especially. Seen a couple whiffs today.
Side out.
We've got ourselves quite a match now.
9-8-1.
David and Frazier within one.
Yeah, I think that run just helps mentally to just settle into the match. It looked like they were just kind of searching for some sort of momentum just to kind of ease into it. And now they
Second serve.
can kind of take a deep breath and play. You know,
Yeah,
they
for
were,
sure.
9-8-2.
Vivian's signature smile is
it's coming
out
out.
on the court, yeah. And yeah, maybe the point pressure forcing an error on the serve there from Jesse.
8-9-1.
Not something you see very often.
Second
Yeah,
serve.
Jessie is always adamant about not unwinding the stack when she's on the left-hand
8-9-2.
side. Which is interesting too, because it just changes up the dynamic too, which is another added benefit. I mean, just having Jessie on the left, who's also probably equally as good as she is on the right. You know, great dinker. It just gives the other team a different look. So really, it's not a negative for her
9-9-2.
to stay there, and I think it's a smart choice instead of having to completely unwind.
Yeah.
Side out.
And this is huge too, because as you mentioned, I mean, Gabe and Jessie are on, you know, the side that
9-9-1.
more teams have been winning on. So if somehow Vivian and Dylan can pull out this game, that is a huge advantage for them.
Second
Yeah,
serve.
absolutely.
9-9-2.
Tied up at 9-all. Ooh.
Point.
surprised Viv even got a paddle on that. Dylan swinging the miss.
Yeah.
10-9-2.
Happens quite a bit when we used to play together. I would go for a little bit too much, but Viv was always there for me.
Point game, 11-9. Change ends.
Came up a little bit short there, but I think at least, as I mentioned, they have a look. All right, we're back here for game 2. We had a substitute here. We now have Dylan Champagne with us.
Yeah, hello everybody.
And I am Thomas Wilson, the has-been pro turned into a commentator as I continue to try to improve my health. Just happy to be out here having some amazing matches here today.
0-0-1.
Gabe and Jesse took game 1. They were up pretty big. Dylan and Vivian had a little bit of a run there. Got actually back to 9-all.
Point.
Yeah, it was a great first game. I got to watch from the sideline. I actually know Thomas Wilson, who I'm commentating with best, by playing with Vivian David, so it's pretty cool that we can watch her and Dylan. Have they played a tournament before? Do you know?
They have. They've played a couple, just kind of randomly. And I don't remember their exact results, but they typically do pretty well. Yeah, if I can't play with Viv, at least I get to talk about her right now.
Yeah.
This is as close as I can get to being on the court with Vivian David, which is my favorite thing to do.
Oh, it's amazing.
1-0-2.
Hope to get back out there one day.
Side out.
Yeah, game 1 was interesting. It just seemed like the wind was a huge factor. I mean,
0-1-1.
the far side of the court, the wind is more behind you. So, you know, Dylan and Vivian were just kind of mistiming some of their counters. They were early because, you know, a gust comes out of nowhere. And they just mistime it and just had a couple uncharacteristic unforced errors, but now they're with the wind. So now Jesse and Gabe are having to fight the gust behind them. You know, if you choose to speed up, when a gust happens, the ball's going to go 12 feet out versus in,
Right.
which it typically would. So you have to be real careful when you're attacking on the far side of the screen.
1-0-1.
But Dylan and Vivian right now can really just go for it. Drive and crash is the play today, especially with the wind. If you try to drop, it's just too risky.
For sure, I think we're going to see that preferred side take a big part in this game too. And if you go into a game 3, you switch at 6, and it's anybody's game.
2-0-1.
Absolutely.
Point.
And we've seen that a ton today. I mean, just like a mediocre drive that isn't necessarily dipping, and
Hold on.
players are completely mishitting it. I mean, it's so hard to time the ball. The wind just makes it essentially a knuckleball, and so you're just
3-0-1.
almost guessing when you're hitting that volley. So that's why a drive today has been so effective.
Point.
I'm seeing a lot more swinging at the kitchen now. I think in game 1, everybody was hitting really high percentage shots because, again, with the wind, it lowers the
4-0-1.
percentage of balls going where you want them. But now I'm seeing more swinging and I'm liking it.
Second serve. 4-0-2. Point.
Great shot there from Dylan.
Jeez.
Little backhand winner at the kitchens.
I think Viv is especially happy because I've never hit that shot once in my career. So she's like, I have a partner that can finally hit a backhand. What a blessing.
I'm pretty sure Viv is happy all the time.
She is. Best mixed partner out there.
Point.
And that's what she's so good at. So if you notice, she kind of turns her paddle and positions herself in a way where you can't read where she's going. She can go line, body, or middle there. So Gabe, having to handle that, you're really just guessing and hope you can be quick enough to the spot because it's unreadable.
Right.
Side out.
Which is amazing. I mean, being able to disguise where you're hitting at the kitchen, your speed ups, is really a pro
0-6-1.
thing. You know, it's what differentiates high level players and pro players.
Yeah, absolutely. You notice that people toward the top, they do such a great job of holding the paddle, having short backswings, which ultimately just makes it impossible to read.
Yeah.
Like a Hayden Patriquin, I don't think the dude's ever taken a backswing
1-6-1.
in his life except to put the ball away, but, you know, from speed ups to counters, just so quick. Improves your hand speed as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Great scramble there from Frazier, and Vivian kind of got away with that. I think she overcooked that counter, but you got to trust Viv's backhand though. So Gabe, you know, you're not letting that go.
No, no.
162. Point.
Jessie really does a great job of attacking cross court, which, you know, obviously is not
262.
a go-to play in pickleball, but she disguises it well. She mixes it up, but she gets away with that low drive cross court that a lot of times is going out, but you just can't move because she hits it inside.
Right.
621.
Wow, great ball there. Again, that drive and crash. Really the move right now on the court.
It is, and Vivian is one of the few female mixed players that has a really effective drive, which is such a luxury when you're playing mixed. If you can, you know, have quality drives off of both sides, it really makes it hard to pick on somebody return-wise. I know with us, when we play together, they would just mix it up because, you know, we would both drive and crash decently well. And a guy like Frazier is just, he crashes so well. So quick, athletic, and his side-to-side movement is insane.
Yeah.
822.
He's also got a great name.
I agree.
Point.
But he doesn't have as good of a last name as you do, though.
It's true.
Champagne, I've never heard that in my life.
If anybody listening, I'm a little new here commentating for PFA. My name is Dylan Champagne, little Italian girl. You can call me Dylan, though.
2 Dylans. The only 2 that exist in the world. Was that in?
Point.
Wow. Even Dylan is surprised. Dylan, excuse me. Dylan is dialed. Vivian and Dylan with huge smiles on their face after that shot.
Yeah, I mean, they're up 10-2, game point right here.
But that's the way to play on the side. I mean, you're into the wind, and he definitely overhit that speed up from his knees, and it drops in because of the wind. So you got to take full advantage.
Absolutely. And again, when we go to game 3, Viv and Dylan will be at advantage being able to finish on the preferred side. Yeah, but Gabe and Jessie are going to do everything they can to prevent that game 3 right now.
Yeah, it looks like Tardio and Irvine are just, they're kind of quiet. I mean, obviously they're quiet people on the court, but it just seems like energy is a little bit lower because you also have to play more conservative on that side of the court. You can't just speed up everything, otherwise it's going to fly 10 feet long.
Right.
So not only strategy-wise has it shifted, their energy has shifted too. It is hard to maintain that high energy when you can't really play the way you want to and hit all the shots that you're used to hitting because of the conditions.
Right, so true.
Side out.
See, again, I mean, Frazier holds that forehand so well. He probably doesn't even know where he's going until the last split second. He's holding that paddle, reading where each player is sitting, and then picks a spot. So you can see Jessie was just a little bit late on that backhand counter. Such an effective shot by Frazier.
It's amazing.
10-3-2.
Wow. All right, we're going to be going to a game 3. In this mixed doubles game, we're going to welcome back, guys. We are here in Dallas, Texas. We are going to game 3. We have Viv and Dylan serving on a little bit of a tougher side of the court. There's a lot of wind today, but that is a big serve from Viv and some big smiles over on that side as well.
And that is one way to really use the wind to your advantage, hitting a big serve. If you can keep it in, which I think that just painted the line for Vivian David, but use the wind to your advantage and come away with a big serve, because after that, you're really at a disadvantage with such strong wind behind you. The other team, Gabe and Jessie, are into the wind. They can play a lot more aggressive, and a lot more balls will fall in on their side, and the side is playing a huge role into who's winning these games today.
Yeah.
I expect to see a very aggressive Tardio, especially the first half of this game 3 before they switch sides. Just energy was a little bit down from Jessie and Gabe in game 2, just, you know, kind of lost their rhythm.
Second serve.
And if Vivian's making backhands like that, you're in trouble.
Yeah. It's one of the beauty things about Viv. I mean, you talked about Gabe's, you know, attitude kind of switching up, but Viv doesn't. She's steady.
She's a rock.
She is.
you got to really limit that smile from Vivian, because the more she smiles, the more she's winning. So it's a scary thing. And she's smiling a bunch right now. So.
Great ball. Dylan just leaving that one a little bit high. Gabe able to jump on that quick.
Yeah, and that's what we expect to see. Just Gabe is going to be looking for every possible ball that's even slightly up. He's going. Obviously has the hands to back it up.
Yeah.
Ooh. Great close there from Gabe. Interesting, after his drive, he did get a pop-up that he could have closed on, but I think he just kind of second-guessed it with the wind. Let it bounce, but still made his way in.
3-1-2.
He's just pulling everything. Why not?
Yeah, luckily Dylan was there on that one, able to get a solid forehand down. That was good. Now they're serving 1-3. They're going to try to run off a couple points here, get back into this third game.
Yeah, just mentally, it's just a mini game to 6 when you're out there on the court.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you know, sometimes a long game 3 and just 1 point at a time, and it's really just helpful to kind of take it in bite-sized chunks. Obviously, point by point, but the goal is just get to 6 first, go into the second half of game 3 with momentum is huge.
For sure.
Oh.
Did she say I'm good?
I think she said I deserved it.
It's even better.
She did. Wow.
Second serve.
Wow. Great point, but that dink goes just
4-1-2.
wide.
Yeah, it's just important to hit your dinks with a purpose out here, especially with the wind. If you hit little dead dinks, the wind can redirect it like it just did. Oh, oh my God.
What a point.
Gabe just throwing his hands up saying, it's so windy, man. It's just pure survival in those hands battles. It's just like the ball's flying around everywhere. Fast hands sure do pay off, though.
5-1-2.
Oh my gosh. It puts her arm in the air for that one.
And then apologizes.
Yes, of course. You can see even with those balls getting put up to Dylan, them just pushing away from him. That timing of the ball is so tough in the wind right now. I'm not sure if you folks at home
1-5-1.
can see the wind in this match, but it is a factor.
Point.
Yeah, that was easy to see there.
There's the ball.
You can see how it blew that, shot 3 feet left last second.
Crazy. I looked at the weather. The gusts are up to 40 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's wild. Just really important to stay light on your feet. If your footwork's even, a hint lazy,
Second serve.
it's just so hard to adjust to the ball. I mean, you have to be ready for that ball to move in any direction, any second. So really the players that are bouncing on their toes, moving their feet,
2-5-2.
just expecting that are the more successful teams today.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
Side
Ooh,
out.
big cheer from Jessie there, and as she should. That was a great point by her. Great backhand finish as well.
Yeah, Jessie does a nice job of giving herself space
5-2-1.
sometimes. Off the kitchen line just allows you a little bit more time to read the counter, as long as you're not falling back
Point.
as
Timeout
Vivian
again. 6-2-1.
whiffs that ball. Kind of shit, but it's different than normal conditions being down 6-2. I mean, if you see the score line in game
Time
2,
in.
they won 11-3 very
6-2-1.
handily. they're handling this side well, so I think they know they can easily still win this match. I think it's still a toss-up even though they're down 6-2.
Yeah.
That one does hurt though. Once you see that 7 number, you're down 5 points. It just makes each point feel more expensive, you know, so they really need to get the side out here quickly and string some points together.
For sure. Gabe is on a first serve, so they have 2 holds to go.
Point.
There we go.
2 errors in a row there on the 4th shot. It's tough.
Second serve.
Great shot there by Viv, able to keep it down as Gabe was rushing in.
Two. Point. 9-2-2.
Really smart lead by Vivian there. I mean, especially a ball that short in the court. It really doesn't matter how much Gabe takes off that ball. There's no way it's dropping in. So.
Yeah, and I think even better for this game 3, wind has picked up even more. Oh.
Wow. Goes just long for Jessie. I don't know if I've ever seen her miss an ATP. It's her favorite shot in the world. She's so good at it.
3-9-1.
Wow. Luckily they have a little bit of wiggle room now at 9-3, but against Dylan and Viv, don't know if it'll be enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Second serve.
I like that leave there from Frazier, expecting that it would get pushed long like several of these balls have so far, but just catches. Ooh.
Side out.
We are in the round of 16.
9-3-1.
The winner of this match will go into the quarterfinals and play either Eric, how do you say his last name?
Onsins or Onsines, people say it different.
Eric is playing with Alex Strong, and they're playing against Travis Rittenmeyer.
Yep.
9-3-2.
And Elise Jones, so they will play the winner of that match.
Yeah, Onsins and Truong take out Catherine Parento and Christian Alshon. Massive upset today, which we've seen a couple big upsets.
Did they lose?
3-9-1.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, huge win for Eric and Alex.
Oh my goodness! I watched a round of 64 match, and they got their first game taken. Alshon was pissed at the win during that game. It was against. Let's see.
3-9-2.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of just really close matches, even matches that may look lopsided, seeding wise. A lot of close games. I mean, it just when conditions are different, when they're challenging, it really is an equalizer, and we're seeing that just with the results here today.
Second serve.
Huge point here. Really important for Vivian and Dylan to get the side out. Otherwise, we're all ready to match point. It's going to be a huge mountain for Dylan and Vivian to climb. That is very fortunate for them. Just a sitter from Gabe Tardio. Just feels like they need to at least get to 6 here before another side out. Nice speed up there from Vivian. She was not proud of herself for that shot, but gets away with it.
Point. Timeout receivers, 5-9-1.
Great timeout there from Tardio. I mean, when you have the lead like this and a team like Frazier and Vivian start to get positive reinforcing that, they know they just need to play aggressive and ultimately hope the points fall your way. I mean, the balls are not going exactly where players are hitting it, so.
Second serve.
Good leave there from Jessie. Gabe calling that for her. Now we're on a second serve, 5-9.
Point.
drive just catches the tape there, but still, either way, that ball was dipping so heavy as it crossed the net. Jesse was in trouble regardless.
Yeah.
Two amazing drives from Vivian David.
And again, Dylan just able to crash and finish, and that's amazing.
7-9-2.
Yeah, such a good singles player in his own right. When he's crashing the net like that, can really cover the entire court. So Vivian quality drive and Frazier crashing is a dangerous combination.
Point.
Quickly back to 8-9.
And you can see Gabe and Jesse trying different things. They even stayed straight up in that last point. Come for a switch here and see what happens.
This is the most dinks we've seen in the entire match combined.
Yeah. Yeah.
Point.
Counter goes long for Tardio. Tied up at 9-all.
Here we go.
9-9-2.
On a 2 here, huge point. Oh my gosh. What a point. Amazing defense from Tardio and Irvine. Finished with a signature two-handed counter from Vivian David.
Amazing. Great
and all of a
point
sudden,
there.
we're at match point. It was 9-3 2 minutes ago. Oh my gosh.
Me and Thomas are on the. I liked it when Irvine and David were going forehands. I think that was setting up some really good stuff. And the way Gabe's hand was going, I think that might be what he told Jesse to go for.
Yeah, I agree. Jesse's such a quality dinker. Just really doesn't have any unforced errors to speak of.
Point.
No. Tie game. Here we go.
Yeah, and you're right. It's really the soft game when you're on their side of the court right now that's winning. I mean, they have a couple nice drops, and the extended dink rallies are the points that Tardio and Irvine are winning.
Yeah, totally agree.
Tied up at 10-all here in the third game on a 2. Huge point for both teams.
10-10-2.
Wow.
Right out.
You can tell Vivian David just did not time that well. With the wind swirling the ball around, gets a paddle on it, hits tape. I mean, pure survival mode out here today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Unbelievable hands.
Able to keep that alive.
10-10-2.
Wow.
And Jesse with the massive come on after that. Rightfully so.
Side out.
Quick side out there for Tardio and Jesse. I mean, that's at 10-all in the third. You really can't ask for much more.
No.
Let.
Now on that serve, we're going to do a little redo here.
10-10-1.
Great
Point.
leave.
Match point.
Wow, match point for Gabe and Jesse after Vivian and Dylan had one of their own. Oh
Game
my
match.
gosh.
12-10.
That's game.
Such a good match. I mean, all 4 players